Hey there YouTube, AJ here. And when last I left you, I had made this beautiful cross member cut down out of a Ford F1 cross member, and to make it fit into my Model A frame. So now, hopefully all the work was correct and calculated right, because we're going to try to get this thing into this frame. So we're going to start off by seeing if we can even remove the old one. Fortunately, I was smart enough or lazy enough to only bolt this thing into place. It's not welded in anywhere yet, so hopefully we can get this out in one big piece, and if not, we'll take it into the little subsections. Ooh, that's tight. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Well, there's a lot of bolts in this. All right. Is that not the right size? Oh, I've made this much more difficult than it needs to be. What size do I have here? 7/16. That explains it. It's ½ inch. Let's see if this helps. Oh, I must have impacted these on, because this is a bear. All right, let's get the impact. Well, I've already made this more difficult on myself than it needs to be. I have misplaced my rail of SAE Allen sockets, and I don't know if I can even get into the backside of these with the impact, so this is gonna be, and I know those two are so close together I can't. Did nothing. Oh, mother. That's just great. Oh, I just remembered these are also locking nuts. The kind that deforms their thread as you tighten them. I've made this really hard on myself. Where do we go from here? I really need that freaking Allen socket. All right, gonna switch from the T-handle Allen wrench to a regular Allen wrench, hoping that it can like hold itself against the rail, because that one is twisting in my hand. I can't hold it. There we go. There we go. Something's working. It's going to fight me the whole way. What the hell? Jiminy Christmas. Ow, fuck. Am I... Oh, that tightened. Shit. That's white. Man, that ain't budging. So it really hurt my hand. That's really good. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Well, all that's doing is twisting the Allen wrench. So anyone way back when saying just bolting my cross member was a bad idea, that's going to come apart. Man, those things, I don't know what to do. Okay, ran to Harbor Freight, got a new set of SAE Allen sockets. Hopefully I can get these out now. But as tight as they've been, I'm not going to guarantee that. Okay, well, interesting development why the camera battery died. I have been completely unable to get these out using conventional methods, i.e. sockets, wrenches, etc. I stripped the head of one, and these are hardened steel bolts. So I tried to drill it out to no avail. So I'm going to have to resort to cutting and grinding. This sucks. These are worse than rivets to get out. This is some fun stuff here. All right, these two should be a joy.
Come on now.
All right, that's one side. Whew. Well, I did get all of the bolts to the frame undone. And undone, I mean grind the heads off and pound them through with a punch. Now we're going to take off our radius rods. Whoa, whoa, don't lose that. As nicely as we possibly can. Fortunately, these are not all welded up yet, so that helps. And things have already started shifting around. As soon as there was tension on this cross member, as soon as I popped those bolts out, things started moving a little bit, so. Okay, so those are free. So right now I'm taking out the bolts from this cross member to this trans mount, because that trans mount should be bolted to the trans and it should stay with it. The good thing is with the new design, the new cross member, these bolts will be a lot more accessible than they were with this one, because of the way I've kludged it all together. But you know, man, neither one of those want to pop out. All right, hopefully when I lift up the transmission, those will be loose. Which I think we're ready to do. Get some crap out of the way. Well, I think I came across the problem with the plan so far. I think the transmission, yeah, it's hitting the top part of this cross member. Oh boy. I really don't want to take the drive shaft out. I'm gonna have to, no matter what. I got the back of the drive shaft separated, taken loose from the differential, and threw some light under here so you can see better. Let's pull out our drive shaft, which is great because it was already all nice and greased and everything, so that's awesome. Now I guess we try to lift it up again. I think maybe I should take off the master cylinder first though. I hope I didn't use the same nuts on that. Alrighty, got our master cylinder off. I just realized I probably should go ahead and unbolt our pedals too. So let's do that. Now our bracket, our pedal bracket's also free. Okay, hopefully now when we lift this up, we'll be able to slide this whole cross member, this and all this crap back. I don't know what's welded to what anymore. I know this big chunk in the center is bolted to this cross member, but I don't know if it's welded anywhere. I know it's tacked to this bracket is tacked to this, and this is tacked to this plate that bolts onto the bottom of that, and is my brake assembly pedal mount. I guess let's just try to see if we can free it up and lift it, and we'll go from there. Okay, I moved a little bit, so maybe let's get the persuader out and see if we can get this thing moving. That's a big movement. Okay, let's go this side. All right, we're clear there. Okay, now how do we get this to a point? What's anything back here? No. Get them underneath these. That's great. A lot of work for something that was already going to work. All right, so what's holding her up now? There'll be a bolt or something we're hitting. What are we hitting? Oh, I see what we're hitting. My body mount bolts are blocking it from moving. All right, gotta go back the other way just a little bit. There's one. Let's go see if we can get the other one out. I got the devil over here. Now. Alright. The sad thing is, a little bit ago I did wonder if I needed to remove those. Turns out I did. We're getting there. Oh. There we go. She's free. We're stuck, but we're free. Alright. Heavy. That monster's heavy. Okay. Okay, with both of them out here, hopefully you can see why I went through all this work and stepped backwards on the project to install this one. So if we come up here and look at the old one, and it is truly kludgy by my own admission. I had the stock Model A cross member, and I only had this little center section of the F1. So I'd made drop brackets, bolted that to the Model A. I had to trim out the flange off the Model A cross member and up in here in order to allow the tail shaft to go through. And then I also tagged on my mounts for my rear radius rods. And of course, all this stuff's just tacked right now. I'm really crappy welding before. I'm actually a lot better welder now. So I'm glad to get rid of all this mess. And then I added these plates on the bottom, one to box in this Model A cross member, make it stronger. Same thing over here, but on top of that, I incorporated that plate into my mount for my pedals. And back here, my brake master cylinder, which made a weird long rod between the two. And that actually made my brake master cylinder be right underneath this subframe member. So I was gonna have to make an opening on each side to fill the front and the rear reservoirs. So I'm glad to have done away with all that. On the back side, the Model A cross member is pretty much, you know, the stock thing. But if you just look at the size of all that steel compared to this little guy, and it's more sleek, and it's just a cleaner look and design compared to that. I fully know that, and that there's no comparison. And I wish I'd had this one from the get-go so I wouldn't have to mess around with all this. Now the other thing is, we're talking considerable weight savings. I don't know what this weighs, but it's 20, 25 pounds at least. Whereas this little guy, I don't know, somewhere in the 5 to 10 range. But yeah, look, I mean, I can lift that one-handed easy with a downward grip. Oh. Yeah, not so much. So, overall, I'm happy to be getting rid of this kludgie mess I've made and throwing this to the scrap pile. We will be cutting this up and using it for the steel that's in it and saying goodbye. Now, let's see if this guy will fit in there. Alrighty, moment of truth. Did I math all right? Alright. Get up in there. Come on, baby. Okay. Back her up. Kind of wedged. And persuasion. Crystal blue persuasion. Oh, hang on. All right. All right. We're starting to make progress. I got a ways to go yet. Oh, come on. This is not easy in the position I'm in. There we go. Now we're making some real progress. Trying to do this without messing up my hands, hitting them on steel. We are almost in position. Okay, we're up against the pedal assembly on that side. The top edge we're fitting as expected. We're a little far away from the rail on the bottom. Don't know how that worked. Potentially it could go that way just a little bit, but then that's gonna move us even further out here. Let's go get our mount and see if we can get that in there under the transmission. And then we'll drop the weight of the transmission on it and start figuring stuff from there. We got. It's gonna need to be a little higher. Hopefully we can get this in there without too much warm. Oh, I just popped some. I just popped some spot welds on my. I don't know what you call this thing. My subfloor. All right. Yeah. Let's drop our bolts through the transmission ears. Hopefully everything will line up. When we drop this back down, just get these nuts. Get these bolts put in through the transmission ears and the mount loosely. There we go. Okay, now let's drop our transmission back down onto the mount, onto the cross member. Hopefully everything will work out pretty well. All right, the front's good. It appears this tab here could be longer. I don't know if we're going to worry about that. Maybe when we take it all apart, we'll add a tab to that to make it longer. But everything else is good. Yeah, that tab's good. That's good. Cut a finger. All right, and yeah. So the front of it's all really, really good. I'm really happy with that. And boy, howdy, does it look a million times better underneath here. Wow. Let's take some measurements, see if it's all squared up in the frame. Okay, from the edge of that to the middle of the first hole, 2 5/16 to the next hole, 4 7/8. Come over to the driver's side, do the same thing. What did I say, 2? Yeah, it's not square. All right, I'm not sure how this is happening because the transmission's all sitting right, but driver's side is a lot further back than the passenger side. So something's definitely out of square there. Okay, so I think our driver's side's in the right position. I think we got this side over here out of whack. So we want to, and that's assuming this is square. Let's try to get it to 1.5 inches. See how that looks. All right. All right. That's pretty good there. All right. So our cross member fits mostly. I was envisioning this to be deeper in there, but that can change. It is at the front, but not at the back edge. I guess I didn't account for the taper of the frame on this. So I might need to add to that, or I just weld it straight on there and it'll be fine. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, it's in position, it fits, nice and solid. So, of course, it's got the weight of the engine and transmission on it right now, so you would think so. But nothing's scaring me at all. All good. Next thing we need to do is over there, see about locating our pedals and our brake master cylinder, see how they're gonna work. Trying to get our clutch pedal lined up. Okay, we're gonna start down here. I don't know if this will be long enough. Let's hope it is. Okay. And I'm thinking that's about where it needs to go. How's our clutch pedal look? Now, that helps right there. We got a bolt. Oh man, that'll help. Let's get this bolt out of the way. Another body mount bolt in the way. Ow. There we go. Alright, now, that should help us. Got that bolt out of the way. Let's put the clutch back where we want it. Is that better? That looks better right there. And up. Get clearance. Alright. That looks more like where it should be. Here's our clamping clamps. Ah! Hell's bells. As soon as I try to get a clamp on it, it slides. Got it. Well, I got it clamped. It's not completely flush, but I think it's where it needs to be. So I'm going to take my transfer punch. If we can get this brake pedal out of our way without everything falling apart, put in our transfer punch so we don't lose, if nothing else, we get a mark in on it. This is going to be sweet. Hopefully it marked, I can't tell. Let's get our drill and see if we can get a hole started. Gonna attempt, nope, that is, I don't know if this will work or not. Yeah, we're gonna have to take that off and make a pilot hole. Hey, fortunately for us, it did mark. All right, so now we need a pilot bit. Okay, well, let's take stock of what we got so far. Put our drive shaft back in to see how that's going to line up. Everything's good. Our mount's good. Our cross member's good. So far, we have an issue here. I threw these ends back in it. We are going to be short here, I think, because if I remember correctly, the surface that these brackets that mounted these went to was mounted about this far away. So I'm going to have to, basically they're going to have to go in longer. So I either have to lengthen my arms or build a bracket out. I don't know which way I'm going to go with that yet. I do have the pieces I cut off of this somewhere. I don't know where right now. I guess I could put a tube insert in here and extend them up into the thing. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I don't know yet, but I think that's probably the way I'll go. But yeah, that's issue one. But as far as looks are definitely not the issue. I'm very pleased with how it looks down here now. So all this is great. Now, issue two is if we look in here, you can see I got a wedge missing. So I will eventually cut a piece to go on further in here, maybe even flange it up so it'll be able to, you know, have a weld to the frame on the wall too. So we'll have to cut that in on each side. Not a big deal. We were just a little off. I didn't account for this tab kind of angling backwards and the taper of the frame going out. So I have a chunk here to weld in. No big deal. The next thing is our clutch pedal, our brake pedal. They're looking good. They're in the right place. I only got the one bottom mount drilled and put in. Up here, I'm gonna have to drill these. See, this one is right on the edge. So I'm gonna have to do something with this corner to to make a place to put that bolt through. This one up here, there's just no way I could get in to drill it while it's in situation. So I'm gonna have to wait and take a template and drill these off. Same thing with my center hole for the brake pedal. It's gonna be like somewhere in this area right here. So we'll have to make that hole for the brake rod to go through. Meanwhile, the master cylinder itself is going to be sitting something like that. So we have an easy place to make an access panel. Looks like I might have to flip the bail over to the other side, so it makes it easier to get on and off so it doesn't hit the frame or the bolt that's going to be coming through. So we got to do that. I think I will wait until I take the body off the car again to do that, to make access to these holes easier. I'm just going to leave it mounted, and when I pull the body off, I'll go ahead and do all those final little things. But I think it's safe to say that the cross member as it looks now, and I don't know if I can get a good front view or not, but from down here and the side and the back, I think it's safe to say that that looks a heck of a lot better than this mess. And it's definitely a lot lighter. So that's good. Probably shed 20-30 pounds at least, I think. Now, I'm not going to throw all this away. I am going to, hopefully I didn't use those. Did I use those flange bolts on that? Good, I did not. Alright, so I should be able to unbolt all this. So I'm going to unbolt all these pieces here. One thing I forgot to mention, another reason I didn't like this design. If you look at the way I've got this set up, I actually had the cross member turned around from the way it is in the car. And that's the only way I could get it to line up with the way I wanted it without a lot of work. Anyway, so what has to happen is this mount has to kind of go in, hit the back, and then drop down. So I don't really like that design. It's not as free. It's going to be, it probably was going to rattle. I don't know. But we did away with it. And then this mount, you can see where the rubber's all deteriorating on this and it's all swollen. That's why I went ahead and just put a new mount in there. I was going to do that anyway at some point. But I got a deal and I decided we're making it all better. Let's go ahead and do it right now. I am going to take this all apart and save some pieces. I got a good template right here for my brake pedal and clutch pedal bracket layout. So we'll knock that off there so we can use that. Same thing. Same thing on the back side for the master cylinder layout. I've got a good template there. And then other than that, you know, there's a lot of good steel here that I don't want to just throw away or scrap. And then my brackets here, I need to take those off, and because we're going to have to try to see what we need to do to integrate them into the other cross member. So yeah, I'm not going to make you watch me cut all this apart. If that's what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to stop the video here though and say thank you all for watching. Later on we'll be figuring out how to remount those arms again and what we're going to be doing there. But in the meantime, I'm just super stoked that all my math and measuring worked out correctly. That thing fits. Yeah, it needs a little tweaking yet. I kind of expected that. The way I was measuring with all the body and the weight and everything, I knew I couldn't get it all perfect. So, but I don't think I got a lot of work left to, you know, get it there. I'm really happy, and I'm just going to wait to finish all that till when I pull the body off the car and just give it all access. I am going to mock up these though. I want to get the rear radius mounts sorted while it's got the weight of the car on it, and I got to do that laying underneath it. So till then, YouTube, later.